Ayodeji Bello Awodoyin, a leading positive change in our community, the very brilliant grassroots advocacy expert, one of the strongest voices in the campaign to end female genital mutilation in our generation, passionate about investing in both young women and men in grassroots developmental projects to better the society. Hello world! It's been 7 amazing years of consistency in advocating for girl child's rights to quality education and raising a strong voice against harmful traditional practices. Meet the Executive Director and Founder, Initiative for Girls' Rights and Health Development, IGRHD Ayodeji Bello Awodoyin. These past years have been years of consistent campaigns to end harmful traditional practices on print media, radio, and television. With an unflinching passion for public speaking, Ayo has also hosted several speaking engagements and trainings on ending gender-based violence, child abuse, female genital mutilation, menstrual hygiene, and lots more. In July 2021, the advocacy expert was appointed a board member of the Global Media Campaign to End FGM, a UK-based organization focused on empowering grassroots anti-FGM activists in Africa. She rose from being a volunteer to becoming the country representative and then the big win. With several fundings for young people to carry out projects at the grassroots level, Ayo is also a strong voice in the domestication of the VAP Act in Osun State. What's more inspiring is a zeal to equip young people and mentor these young aspiring advocates at just no cost. It's been 7 years of this selfless service, and here is wishing the advocacy champ and our entire team a beautiful 7th anniversary.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ayodeji Bello Awodoyin. Welcome to the month of June. I pray that this is the month of good news, lots of favors, lots of prosperity, lots of ideas, insights, concepts, support. In the month of June is the midst of the year. We're getting into the middle of the year, and in case you've had plans from the beginning of the year or you've not really had a very good time, I'm here to tell you that things will be fine. So I'm very hopeful about the month of June for myself, my loved ones, and everyone watching me. So welcome. So today I'll be discussing something very important. A few days ago, my organization, Initiative for Girls' Rights and Health Development, clocked 7 years old. 7 whooping years. Yes, it was our 7th anniversary, and it was an opportunity for me to just acknowledge God and thank Him for all the beautiful things He has done, the success stories, the impact, the community engagements, it's just been beautiful years of impact, and I'm very thankful for the past 7 years. So I decided to do this vlog to answer some of the questions people have been asking me. Yes, some of the questions people have been asking me concerning running an organization in Nigeria, in this part of Africa, in this part of the world, the challenges, what it has been like, and all of that. So I have about 10 questions I'll be answering, and we'll be here together. I hope you learned something. So running an NGO, it's you may not want to run an NGO, but I hope this vlog would minister to you or speak to you, or you learn one thing or the other. Whatever it is you're doing, being a creative, bringing something from your inside, thinking about something and bringing it to reality is a big deal. And that's why I tell people to take their time, because the process of bringing that thing from inside outside is a very long distance. So from the ideas to travel from the realm of idea to the realm of reality is a big deal. So if you're doing anything or you've thought of anything, trust me, you're doing just amazing. But let me answer some of the questions. So the first one says, where and when and where did you start? Okay, so I started 2015, 29th of May 2015. That was when I started in my Face Me I Face You apartment as a student of Obafemi Awolowo University. I think I was in 200 level then. I was studying sociology and anthropology. So that was where I started. I started in Ile-Ife, Osun State, in my Face Me I Face You apartment in AP. If you're conversant with Ife very well, AP Modakeke. That was where I used to live. So that was where, in that room of I think maybe 15,000 naira per year, for rent. That was where I was living then, and it was in that room the idea came. So that was it. So why did you start it? That's question. So why did I start? So I started because I wanted to be a voice for the girl child. I'd experienced some things in my life that, you know, even if you don't experience something, there are always cases of injustice everywhere. You know, cases of injustice everywhere. So what really happened was, all my life I'd wanted to advocate for the girl child. I'd wanted to be a voice for the girl child. I saw the injustice in my environment. I was born in Mushin, Lagos State. You know, I'd seen lots of injustice that young girls go through, and then personally I had a case where I was unjustly rusticated from the higher institution. I think I'm going to do another vlog about that. So I'd gone to a polytechnic before coming to Obafemi Awolowo University, and I was not just rusticated, I was kept in the cell, in the police cell, while I was not even up to 18. You know, at age 16 I slept in cell for like 5 days. So, and at the end of the day, even the apology was not even, you know, so ranging from the form of abuse and injustice I experienced, I felt, no, I want to be a voice. So I had wanted to study law, but after I wrote the entrance exam into the university, the JAMB, you know, I think I didn't get up to, okay, I passed JAMB now, of course, but I think the cutoff of Obafemi Awolowo University just did not give me law. So I was given sociology and anthropology, and I decided to, I wasn't sure what sociology had for me, but at the end of the day, things began to take shape, and then I began to start something, you know, just to start something that that would just help me achieve my dreams and do the same thing I want to do, even if I'm not being certified, you know, I'm at the BSc level, you understand. So somebody's distracting, my husband is distracting. Come and give me a peck. Come and give me a peck now. Why is shy? Just peck and go, peck and go. He's been out, so he just got back. He has not had time to be editing my videos for me, so I decided to be doing it myself. So just manage. Welcome. So don't let me get distracted. Let's move to number 3. So your most memorable or happiest moments running the organization. There are lots of them. There are lots of memorable moments. You know, when you have success stories, when you have ideas. Yes, so most of my ideas, I get them on the place of prayer, trust me, because there are so many issues, and I know people always say, which one is God, 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 remove the God factor. That has always been me. There's nothing I do that the God factor isn't there. If I don't hear about a project from God, I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do that kind of thing. Just like MC Oluomo, I cannot do it. I don't do it. Yeah, so most memorable and happiest moment, there are a couple of them. Every successful project, going out and coming back, is always memorable. And then I think also applying for funds and getting it, oh my God, that's always very, very exciting for me, because it's one thing to have an idea, is another thing to have somebody say that, oh, this is brilliant, I want to support it. Then it's another thing to have like an international organization say, wow, we are funding this project for a few months, for a year. That is huge. So every time I receive that email, it makes me very happy that, God, we are going to be solving problems, we are going to be reaching lives. And then it just further validates my calling. You know, it further gives me this confidence that you have been called to do this, girl, you should do this, you understand. So those are some of my memorable moments. Sorry, I had to pluralize it. What are your challenges? There are so many challenges, man. Lack of funds. But one of the challenges I had is the fact that you have to go through a lot of stress running an organization in Nigeria. So when I began, I just wanted to do something nice. You know, I just like I said, I just wanted to be a voice. So while I was praying in my room and I was writing, so anytime I have an idea, I take my pen and get a book and I jot. Now I have so many books like that. If you read those books, you can never understand. Only me understands those books. I don't know if you have journals like that where you just write and write and write all of your crude ideas. So even now when I'm so relaxed, I just go back to those books, because there's this kind of ideas you have when you are focused, when you are burning, when you are young, when you are not distracted, when you are hungry. You know, it's different from the kind of ideas you come up with from your comfort zone. Those ideas are burning. You understand? And sometimes when I go back, I'm like, really, Ayo, you wrote this at 21, at 20, at 22. Wow, that was so brilliant of you. You know, so I go back to my books to check out those ideas. And when I did some of these jottings, then that was when I chose the name Ladies Circle International. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I just thought, okay, women, ladies, a circle of, you know, women. It just had to do with women. I didn't know anything about NGO. I didn't know anything about registration. I didn't know about CAC. I just did not know about opening an account. You know, I didn't know all of those things. So those were my biggest challenges. And there was really nobody to guide me per se. So I was just having meetings, raising funds, and doing projects with my personal name and goodwill. You understand? So when people began to question me, okay, I think the first attack I received was when Facebook reached out to me that our account was impersonating another account. I was like, excuse me, my projects are genuine. What do you mean by I'm impersonating someone? So they said there is one Lady Circle International, I think in the US, and they do maybe something similar to what we do. You see, when I received that email, I was so scared. I was naive. I felt like, God, I've offended Facebook. What did I do for Facebook to reach out to me? Oh my God. And that was how the account was shut down. You know, same thing Instagram, and then because we're not registered. So I began to make inquiries about registration. How do you register an organization? How? And then I think then they told me it was about 200,000. I'm like, what? Where do you want me to get such money from? And then they began to tell me I need to have board of trustees, board of directors. I need to open an account. I need to do some sort of registration. You know, it was so, I was really worried. You know, and then I think after 5 years, I decided to start. I was able to raise some money. Now, do you know that when I raised money to register, I did not get it approved until, don't let me say it, many years later. You understand? Trust me, I did not get it approved because we had issues with the name. So I wanted it to be LCI because LCI was fast, Ladies Circle International, LCI. So people already knew us on campus and the communities, LCI. That was what I wanted. And I was really heartbroken when CSC told me that the name had been taken. I said, okay, Ladies Circle Development Initiative. They said no. I just wanted it to be LCI, okay, LDI, LCD. You know, I just didn't want to leave the L and the I. You know, and then I had to go and pray again. See, if you want to work with people or you want to do something that would outlive you, you need the God factor. Trust me, and I'll always recommend Jesus any day, anytime, because he's the one who gives you wisdom, he's the one who teaches you to profit, he's the one who guides you, he's the only one that can give you peace. You know, and when you have the Holy Spirit, that is when your ideas can be supernatural. That is when you can work with people. That is when challenges can come and you would just overcome them. This someone running something like this has gone beyond using self-control, using basic knowledge, except it's just a form of ambition. You just want to do it like, oh, CEO, boss, leader, and all of that. But if you really want to fulfill purpose with this kind of helps ministry, because this is helps ministry, you have to always go in the place of prayer, because you are going to penetrate communities that you don't even know the principalities and powers over them. Anyway, let me not go too deep. So I had to pray about it, and one thing God asked me was, Hayo, what do you really want? What exactly is the idea? I said, I just want to help girls. I just want to help girls, Lord. You know, when it comes to their rights, I don't want them to be abused. I don't want them to be cheated. I want them to get justice, whatever it is that has to do with their rights and their health, their sexual and reproductive health. So many girls have been violated. I want to stand in gap for them. And God was like, okay, fine. Then you have it. What's the name? and then it just came Initiative for Girls' Right and Health Development. Because at that time I was really working on FGM. FGM was one of the core issues, because when I started, Osun State had the highest prevalence of FGM, and God was like, okay, Ayo, so what if FGM ends? Okay, there's been a projection, FGM will end by 2030. Let's even say it doesn't end by 2030, hence by 2050. So after the campaign against FGM ends, does the organization end? I was like, no, we're still going to handle other issues. We're still going to, you know, I don't know if you understand that kind of prayer where it becomes interactive. You can hear and you can give response. That was how it was, because I'd even fasted for days. And so I said, anything girls' rights. I know that I cannot know everything. I can't figure out the whole idea or what I want to do, but I know that what I want to do with my life is to protect and to enlighten people on the rights and health of girls, you know. And God says, and that's it, Initiative for Girls' Right and Health Development. And I was like, hey, what sort of rubbish dirty name is that? Please, what is even the acronym? IGRHD, Consonant Cluster, GRD, from just Health CI. It was so annoying. And one thing God said, I always talk about God, because when you love something or you love someone, you always talk about them. One thing God said to me, Ayo, whatever it is called, when I bless it, the world will call it. It's not about how sassy or how sexy or how beautiful it sounds. It's about the force behind it. And I was like, whoa! And then there was this joy. There was this joy on my inside. And then I contacted my CAC person to say, okay, now I have a name. It's either Initiative for Girls' Rights and Health Development or Initiative for Girls' Health and Rights Development. That is it. And immediately he checked it, the name was available. And I was like, wow. So at the beginning, I didn't really pray to ask for the name. I was just praying about the entire idea. And that was why LCI was obviously from my head knowledge. But when I got IGRHD, it was really difficult to pronounce, you know. So we had to do an announcement to tell people that, oh, we now have a new name. This is what we are being called. We had to change the logo. And I'm just thankful that God blessed me with the gift of people, even things I could not afford. I think the first website we got was free, and it was done by a very good friend. We had gone for Young African Leaders Initiative together yearly, an initiative by former President Barack Obama, Ogun's Damilola. He did the website for me, and you know, it was good. From there we opened another social media account, and then we started gradually. So those were some of the challenges. And then for those asking, what do you need to do to register? So you need to hold at least 200,000. I don't know how much it is now. Maybe it will be more expensive because of the exchange rates, the economy, inflation, and all of that. But at least have up to 200,000. Have a board of trustee, at least some people you trust. How do you select your trustee? People you trust. Like for me, my board of trustees, my husband, my dad. So some people say, your husband, how come? Yes, he's always been in the picture. We dated for about 6 years, and I already knew he was my husband. So I put him into my future engagements. I wasn't worried, oh, will this guy break my heart, blah, blah, blah. I already knew this is the man, because I had prayed and all. But anyway, don't worry, I'm going to do another vlog on how I met my husband. This is being professional, I'm talking about work. So my husband, my dad, you know, so you can have 5 persons, but you can have 1 person. You can have two person. There has to be, I think it has to be an odd number. Then you have to have their signatures, their ID cards, and then there has to be a secretary of the organization, and then list of other people, you know. And I think CAC has an entire new interface now, because one of the issues we had was our registration was done on the old portal, and I think there was a revamp. So transferring our details from the old portal to the new portal made us wait for years, you understand, for about 3 years before it finally got approved. 4 years rather before it got approved. So so that's it. Then apart from that, if you want to open a corporate account, you need to have tax. I know that NGOs do not pay tax, but there's something called TIN that you need to register for. There's something called SCUML, I'm going to tell you about that. That one is absolutely free. You can just check it online, SUML registration for NGOs, and it's going to put all the necessary documents you need to upload. Then you can go to the bank, you know, to open your account. And then also another shocker was having to get an auditor. If you want to access big grants, you need to have a documented account. You know, you need to have an auditor who would audit everything and take stock of, you know, what you have, what you've spent, any loans, any debts, and all of that. It's bulk, is beyond going to communities. So number 5, first funding opportunity. First funding, oh my god, can I remember? Okay, the first funding, of course, was from me, because when I started the organization, I started with my pocket money. Yeah, so from the little money my dad was giving me, I remember I was the newly elected vice president of the student association, then Sociology and Anthropology Student Association of Ayodeji University, and you know, it was an opportunity to lead, and I felt like, okay, this is a bigger platform, so I can use this to start. So some of the students around who, you know, the influence of the VP had come around, and they also were passionate about the idea, and then they joined me. I think I'd spoken to them, say, okay, I have this idea, would you like to join me? I want to reach out to girls. But I knew that capacity building was important. We had to do a lot of meetings and training so that they can understand the mission and vision. It's not just about packing people, so you need to discuss with people. So the first discussion we had about this idea was on the 29th of May in 2015. I'll try to find the picture of that meeting and then try to attach it either at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of so please watch to the end so I can attach the pictures. My editing skills are not perfect yet, so anyway I put the picture, I beg, just see the picture like that. So I think we were about 6 ladies, 6 of them, and we came together and we were like, wow. So we began to have those meetings every Sunday. On Sundays, I think it was at Faculty of Education, you know, Ayodeji Bello University, and we had meetings back to back talking about everything. We had affirmations, and one thing we always said was LCI, going places to happen, you know, and I'm happy we're going places to happen. So that's it. So the first funding opportunity was from me, from my pocket money, and then I think my friends on campus, my classmates. So I think I was having a project, and I wrote a list of the things I needed, and I went around to my classmates to say, okay, please, we need sanitary pad for girls, you know, we need transportation to go to this community, we need to buy bottled water. And I just had people saying, okay, don't worry, I'll give you 500 naira for bottled water, I'll give you this for bottled water, I'll give you this for transportation. So that was step 2. Then step 3, the first funding we got, I think we had more of partnerships. Partnerships helped us lift some of our financial burdens, you know, collaborating with other organizations to achieve what we wanted to achieve. And you know, it's just this sort of strategic marketing where you don't have to spend so much and then you get more. And then I think when we started in 2015, we didn't get our first official funding until like 2017. You know, I think it was from GMC, and how much was it? Maybe about 150,000. It wasn't so much. Of course it was so much, but it wasn't so much now as in compared to what we get now, you know. So that was it. It was for our annual debate and spelling bee competition at that time. So that was our first funding. So let's move to experience with staff and volunteers. Oh my god, one thing is this: dealing with people, you need a form of learning and coaching. So one thing I did was I was applying for lots of opportunities. So, and Yali is one opportunity I always talk about. I attended lots of trainings, a lot of leadership training. So it's not really about saying, okay, I want to run something. Even if it's not an NGO, even if it's a business, you still need to have leadership training. You need to have civic leadership training. So all of these trainings would position you, would help you know how people would behave, how people react, you know. And then also I prayed about it. I always pray to God, give me the gift of good men. I have amazing volunteers. I don't think there's anybody I've worked with that has really given me a day, because the vision is plain. It's not about me. We are not trying to, it's not like I'm trying to use you or you're trying to use me. It is mutual benefit, you know. And I also try to motivate my volunteers, either by giving them certificates or by, you know, when I have some funds I can give. There are times I can pay volunteer stipends depending on the funds that we have, you know. So I've worked with people who have personalized the vision themselves, and some of them have left the environment they've graduated, you know, they've put it in their CV, you know. So it's been a beautiful experience, you know. With staff too, it's been nice. We have staff who have been working with us for 4 years, so I mean that tells that we are doing good. Your favorite projects? There's been lots of favorite projects. I always enjoy the annual debates and spelling bee competition. So when we go to schools to talk to girls about different topics on sexual and reproductive health and rights, on every International Day of the Girl Child, we bring them together to have a debate competition, and then we give them awards and gifts. So it's always very emotional. We used to have primary schools too, and but we stopped primary school about 2 years ago because it was always very dramatic and emotional. So the primary schools used to have the spelling bee. So at the end of the day, when we have the winners, they're always emotional. Is that some are crying? You know, planning the debates is always very interesting because I love to see young people expressing their vocal prowess, you know, their public speaking skills. It makes me just very happy, and I enjoy listening to them. And also it gives me this sense of fulfillment that all the things we've been teaching them, they have an idea, you know. Hearing about female genital mutilation from a 10-year-old, coming up with strong points, you know, why it should be eradicated. It's very interesting. So I enjoy our annual debate and spelling bee competition. It's one of my favorite projects of IGRHD. So where do you see it in the next 10 years or more? You know what? All I know is that we're going to keep impacting lives. The vision is not diluted, but I can't really say this is what will be next 10 years because COVID has taught me a lot. You know, COVID has humbled me. All the plans for the next 5 years, this is where I want to be. I'm not sure. And the God factor, you really can't tell. So I work as led. If God says, oh, I mean, by now, then I was thinking, by the time we're 7 years, would have had branches in other states, but God has not given me the go ahead. So the idea is stay in Ife, do what you have to do, you know. So if an instruction comes to say, okay, go to Ibadan, go to Lagos, go to the US, go to London, then we move. But right now, we're just about impacting lives, girls, one day at a time. And as far as I have my own personal ambition, if they are not vetted or approved by God, there is nothing I can do. But one thing is certain, in the next 10 years, IGRHD will be flourishing in terms of impact, in terms of success stories, in terms of being a recognizable organization in the society, in the country that is adding value. We would be known for our impact. Our impact will speak for itself. You know, one thing I'm very sure is that God will bless us with lots of visibility, because visibility is a lot of things people struggle with, and I want to believe that by next 10 years we'll be very visible. Everybody would know that there is an organization doing something great, you know. So how did you battle rejection, criticism? Oh, okay. So at the beginning there were lots of criticism. You know, there are different kinds of, there's destructive criticism, there's constructive criticism. There were lots of destructive criticism, like, oh, how much do you have? What do you do that you want to run an organization? You want to give back to the society? Have you even eaten? Do you even have money? You know, there were times like that. There were times I was having my own personal struggles where I didn't even have money, where I had to even pause school, you know, because of the economy. So it's not as if I run an organization because I'm from a privileged background. No, you know. Before the NGO ministry is like an age-long one. I always say it, but it's actually new for young people taking it as a profession, finishing school and saying you want to run an NGO. You don't want to get a job somewhere. You just want to give back to the society. And trust me, when I started, I didn't even know, you know, I could get it could be a full-time job, or I could make money from it, or I could, you know, I just wanted to do something as, I don't know if it was even youthful exuberance or whatever. I was young and burning, you know, and I just wanted to do something amazing. So I just had to ignore all of those rejections. I was convinced by what I wanted and what God told me. That's another thing. So God's validation was all I needed. So every time I pray and I hear from God, it excites me. So when somebody tries to say something negative, I'm like, really? It doesn't move me. That's why you need God in this thing. You know, when you have God in this thing, it will bring you the right partner, the right, you just do the right thing at the right time. You apply for the right things. You don't do things that would waste your time. So they just took my light, sorry. So this is one of these things you experience filming in Nigeria, filming in Africa. Power is a challenge. But anyway, those are the 10 questions, and I hope you've learned something. I didn't plan to end it this way. But sorry, that's NEPA for you, or IBEDC. I don't know what they are called, but they'll always remain NEPA. Anyway, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much. See you in my next vlog. Kindly like, share, subscribe. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.